I feel like so much has changed since I took a break from YouTube and from social media. For one, we are up north in our Michigan home and we'll be here for a while, at least through the entire summer and maybe the beginning of fall. However, my daughter also just had a birthday. She turned 2 years old, in which she is now completely weaned off of breast milk, so that has been a transition for her. We've been slowly transitioning out of co-sleeping, but very slowly, not aggressively. And my husband and I had our 10-year anniversary. There has just been lots of little subtle but very important changes over the past few weeks. And so maybe the Lord was calling me to slow down at just the perfect time because we just honestly had a lot going on and I never want to overwhelm myself or my family, and I really need to make sure that I can tell and know where they need me, when they need me, and allow God to use me that way as a mother, a wife, and all the things. We had been in Florida for quite some time, for about 9 months. And it was wonderful. However, it also feels really great to be back here up north too. The weather has been so beautiful, so peaceful, just being able to come out and sit on the patio, do some gardening, plant some flowers. We don't have a ton of things in the garden because we got a very late start, so we didn't do any spring gardening. We only have been able to put a couple of summer crops in, mostly whatever is my son's favorites. And we added a couple of annuals and maybe a few more perennials here and there. We added a blueberry bush next to the little baby apple trees. The apple trees did not do as great this spring as they did last spring because we weren't home to fertilize it or to water it on the very hot days. So we've done what we can since being here for the past 2 weeks. And things are starting to spruce up a little bit around here. So maybe I'll give you guys a little bit of a look. Very particular about all my babies, my plants, my flowers, and things like that. And when they're looking a little bit stressed out, I'm feeling a little bit stressed out with them. Put the kids up a new sandbox for Navi's birthday. And we are going to probably paint their little swing set until they get bigger. I know my husband has been talking about maybe getting them a new swing set, but I feel like Navi definitely still has some time on this swing. Like she's still in like the little baby toddler like chair swing that you like strap them in. And then my son, he still definitely has some swings left as well. I don't necessarily feel a need to have to upgrade them right now. I feel like we can put that off for maybe another 2 years, I would say. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll give you guys a little look at our little summer flowers, annuals, perennials, gardening, and things like that and see what that looks like. But today is going to be a pretty chill day. We have a few homeschool things that we are going to get into. So I'm going to be doing like a science lesson from the Little Hearts and Hands curriculum from the Good and the Beautiful. We're going to do some Bible studies, some handwriting, some spelling practice, just like summer homeschool stuff. So we're finished, which I have to do an update for you guys, but we are completely finished with our Good and the Beautiful homeschool curriculum for level 2. So we finished up language arts, we finished up math, the full curriculum. We finished that up a while ago, a little over a month ago maybe. So we're just doing like summer homeschool things, which is just like little extras and supplementals, things that I feel like he could use a little bit more practice on going into third grade, things that we just try to do every single day, even outside of homeschool. So like our Bible studies and things like that, reading, things like that. So this is what we're doing in terms of homeschool. I'm going to do a full Getting the Beautiful level 2 curriculum review for you guys very soon and get that out because I do one every single year and I want to stay on top of that. Also, Florida homeschool is completely different from Michigan homeschool, so I want to talk a little bit about that as well in terms of how we have to submit a letter of intent to homeschool and we have to do annual either portfolio reviews or annual assessments, like tests that he had to take either in person or online. So that's going to be new for us as well, a different transition if we're going to be doing homeschool down south, basically like fall and winter, which is our typical homeschool season, where we'll be here throughout like summer when we are like kind of taking a break from homeschool or doing things a little bit more leisurely. So that's going to be a different transition there. However, I do love a lot of the benefits that comes with Florida homeschooling. They have different resources and grants and scholarships for the homeschool children, and I see nothing wrong with taking like assessments or exams, portfolio reviews and things like that. I know a lot of parents don't like that, like a lot of homeschool parents don't like that, but I don't really have an issue with it. I'm going to sit here and read my devotions because that's something that I have really, really loved, grown to love to do every single day since being back. Every single day, except for a couple of the days we had like this really bad, I don't know if you guys heard about like the wildfires and that affected Canada. My God, we were praying for them because it was so bad, and still praying for them, all the families and homes and communities that was affected by those wildfires. But Michigan is very, very close, like right there, neighbors with Canada. You can just take a bridge over. So we were affected as well. I think Ohio was affected, just like a lot of the smoke and just the pollutants in the air. So we weren't outside for a few days, specifically, mostly, definitely the children. I think after about 2 days, like my husband and I was able to like come out just for a few minutes here and there to water the plants, take a look around, get, a little bit of sunshine, but it was not like fresh air, and it was a little bit smoky and hazy, so we kept the kids inside. Outside of that, we've been outside every single day. This is where I come and do my morning devotions. I've had prayer out here a few days. Sometimes I pray in my daughter's room in the morning. Just, little areas where I like to have my morning time. So here on the patio, under this little gazebo next to my flowers with my cup of coffee. That's been my thing lately. I've been truly loving that. I'm getting back into working out and fitness and things like that. It's always like a transition. In some ways it feels like starting over and readjusting, but in other ways it feels like just settling back in. So I feel like, considering we've only been doing the snowbird thing for first year, things we're still trying to get used to. However, going forward, I think we'll eventually get our footing and everything. So let's get some devotions done, go inside, clean up because it's looking a complete mess in there. And that's the thing about Michigan summers. I would much rather be outside, even doing yard work and gardening, than doing like housework on the inside. And I will ignore that and procrastinate and put it off until it looks a mess, but with a good reason. So yeah, we're gonna go clean up, try to spruce up the house. We're going to make pancakes because it's going to go with our science lesson for today. We're going to be talking about how to make like maple from like the sap in the trees and things like that, and how they make maple syrup, for instance. So we're gonna make like pancakes or waffles or something to pair with the lesson and everything. Have like a little movie that goes along with it for the kids to watch. Mostly my son. My daughter, she's 2. She's not really caring about that. She doesn't even like pancakes, actually. I'm gonna bring the kids out to play because my son has definitely been needing to get some energy out. Yesterday, when we were gonna come out, it started raining a ton. We were gonna come out and roast marshmallows, and the rain just poured. So he needs to get out and get some energy out today. He's also, my son is 7. He's been like in this stage and age of really wanting more of our attention. And the thing is that when we ignore those little things, you might start to see behavior issues. And he hasn't really been having any like behavior issues that stand out to me. However, I want to really try and be more intentional about the attention that we give to him. Like, I've noticed him asking, can we play with him a lot more lately, like all day. And I don't know if it's that he just doesn't have a ton of friends to play with nearby, but we have had at least 3 play outings or play dates since we've been back for the past 2 weeks. And so we're trying our best here. Plays with his sister, obviously, but yeah, he's just, I don't know. Like we spend some time with him, we play with him, he plays with his friends, but I don't know, he's still asking constantly, can you play with me? So I really want to try and nail in on that, give him some more attention and figure out more about that. I try not to ignore little things like, yeah, it could just be a phase. Yeah, it could just be nothing, but it could be something. So I don't want to ignore that. So that's something we're gonna get. So, and it could also be that we haven't been doing homeschool every single day, and he's used to getting that individual attention every single day, where I get to sit down with him, go through his lessons with him, homeschool, where my focus is solely on him, versus now I've been trying to gather and get things together since being back. So, but I wanted to give some life updates and some summer homemaking updates. And now let's actually do some summer homemaking. So we planted a few annuals. I don't even remember the name of these guys, but we planted some of those just like around the patio here. We normally have a ton of roses come up every spring, and that just didn't happen this year. However, I fertilized and they're trying. You can always tell when they're trying to come back when you see those little burgundy colored leaves starting to come in. So some of the leaves were just very much unhappy. I have mint back there that was kind of taking over here. But some of those little burgundy leaves are starting to come in since fertilizing. And hopefully they do okay. Back here we had a sprinkler that had froze and broken, so we had to dig up where that was located, pull up the grass. So you might see the blue seeds that we had to put down in this gigantic patch. Back there's another patch because we moved the kids' swing set to under the tree because it's a lot of sun that we get over here, and they were sweating on their little swing set, so we put them to the shade, built a new sandbox, and we have a patch from where their old sandbox was located. We actually had a tree here. So that tree cut down. More grass seed and leveling needs to be done here. You guys can see one of the broken sprinklers that we had to patch up. We're gonna just try to replace that part instead of just patching it. So hole over there, some roses over here that's trying to come back. Here's another one that was very sad. I got some sad black-eyed Susans back there. I think that the drought that we got from the rain really stressed them out back there. Little areas where I really wanted to plant like little fruit trees and bushes, like maybe some elderberry is what I still want to add back here, but it's looking quite terrible. You guys, we have so much work to do. This is the work we typically do fall and spring, but we were literally not here fall or spring, and things are just we got so much work to do. However, there is the baby apple tree that we planted about a year ago. It's red delicious, and we planted it. It was like a little bit lower, like a teeny baby. It's growing up, but it's not wonderful. And then we've got another little baby one there. And then we just put this little baby blueberry bush in the ground. We got like lavender. So we're gonna try to get this area together. I would love to have like a few like wildflowers and perennials for the butterflies and bees, because that's going to help with the apple trees, the fruit bushes, and things like that. So right now this whole area is looking awful. However, I would love to kind of block it off more, clean it up, and make it into something nice. We don't plan to sell this house anytime soon, so we have a ton of time, but we also have a ton of work. And here's our little garden planters, which looks terrible. We leave a gap back there, which I normally plant things to deter animals. We get a lot of little bunnies in the spring. We get little chipmunks, so we plant like chives back there sometimes, a little bit of garlic and mint. However, I have some mint in that planter because we've been trying to keep it off of the patio. But here is where we have more mint, so maybe we'll add a couple more herbs here. But we've got a couple of peppers there. Let's see. I've got some green peppers. Again, we planted these maybe not even a whole week ago. We're trying to get some things in the garden, but we planted these about a week ago. So we got a couple of bell peppers trying to come in, a couple here. These are mini peppers. So they're called like gypsy mini bell peppers. You get like all the different colors, like green, red, yellow. Mini peppers like the ones you can get like in a little bag, and you can use those for, you know, spices to flavor some dishes. So a couple peppers is what we're gonna fill this one with. We just got a couple for now. A couple of tomatoes trying to grow in right there, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these ones here. I think I'm gonna put some cool weather crops over here. I'm thinking about putting lettuce over here because you guys can see the difference in how much sun we get over there versus what we get over here. It's just tons of shade. We have so many trees. My foot is falling inside one of the holes the chipmunks have built. We got so much work to do. So then I'm gonna dig these up like today. Like I might stop now and move these over. I have a little bit of space. These tomato plants get so big. That's why I wanted them here, but I'm gonna move them somehow, some way.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a rage. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to
Next plan is for back here, this row you guys see of just weeds and I think maybe some chives or something. I'm gonna put a whole row of different colored mammoth sunflowers maybe. I think that would look really great and help with pollination and things like that. So we'll put some beautiful sunflowers back here.
borrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today It's a good day today. It's a good day to live.
It's very much later in the day. We made pancakes and we did like a maple syrup unit study about how the sap comes from the trees and everything and how they use it to make syrup. Noah watched an educational video about that while he ate pancakes, and we talked about like the syrup that we use in pancakes and how it's made and everything. So that's what we did. He did a little bit of spectrum spelling. We have like the spectrum spelling book. He did a couple of pages, maybe like 5 pages from that, and then we also did his handwriting practice. He did about 2 pages, like sentence practice, drew some pictures. We didn't get to do our scripture handwriting. We just did like regular sentence practice. Normally I'll have him either do that or he'll copyright a scripture, like read the scripture and then rewrite it, put his name at the top. We didn't do that today. We just did the good and the beautiful handwriting today. So we got that done. That didn't really take up a ton of our time. He's gotten pretty quick with that type of stuff because it's all just like practice work or extra supplemental work. I am thinking about printing like the very first unit of the Good and the Beautiful Level 3 curriculum off. I'm not 100% sure because I like everything to be nice and neat inside of the books. However, I don't know if I'm ready to fully dive back into curriculum every single day yet, because we've been really enjoying our summer and spending time with friends and families and getting things done around the house and outside in the garden, which, by the way, I did move the tomato plants that were like in the shaded area of like the planters, and I moved it to the garden box that gets more sun. So one of them is like next to some mint. I couldn't really like talk during the process. It got so loud outside. Today we only have like 73, I think is a temp today, 73 degrees. So it's like the perfect temperature to do work outside. So everybody was in the garden, outside in their yard. So you hear like loud lawnmowers, them cutting their grass. You hear dogs barking, sprinklers going, everything. And it wasn't the most peaceful day outdoors. It was extremely loud, so I couldn't get a ton of filming done. Things are starting to quiet down because now it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, they're normally out like in the morning and very early afternoon and everything around here. But yeah, it's much later in the day. My husband is asking for tacos tonight, which I don't have anything for tacos. However, he and the kids are out right now. I have no idea where they went. I think my guess is that they're at the frozen yogurt restaurant, like a little frozen yogurt shop, because they have like a little Mexican restaurant inside, and he probably walked past, saw the tacos, and now he wants to have tacos. So I guess that's what we're going to be eating today. I'm not really a huge fan of it. However, sometimes we have what I want, sometimes we have what the kids want, sometimes we have what hubby wants. It's just the rotation. Besides, it's very simple and easy to make. Like I said, we got some cilantro in the garden, so it'd be really cool to toss some of that on top for garnish. Maybe that's what I'll do, go on and pick a little bit of the cilantro. Really nice if we could go and grab some tomatoes, so we just got those in there not even a week ago. No tomatoes, no nothing, because the harvest in the garden. I hate this. I wish we had salad, like lettuce and everything to just go pick and put on the tacos. That is the fun part. So maybe next year we will be back earlier the year. However, we had so much fun. 4th of July, we took like a little family mini vacay before we came back to Michigan. So our very last weekend in Florida before coming here for the summer, we went out for like a 4th of July family vacay where we kind of just shut everything down. No social media, didn't really do too much on the phone or electronics. Just spent time really enjoying our babies. We stayed at Sapphire Falls Resort, which is connected to Universal Studios Orlando, and we spent like a day poolside. They have like these cool cabanas, which we did not rent the cabana. However, they have plenty of seating with little sand beaches. So the kids were playing in the sand. We ate nachos. We had a couple of margaritas, me and my husband. The kids had tons of water and Gatorade because it was so hot this day. Tons of sun hats, sunscreens, waters, and everything. And then we took the kids to the pool to swim a little bit. We did the arcade. And then the next day we just slept in, had some coffee and lunch in the room. And then we went to Universal Studios. You could just catch their boat transportation. Like it's a little boat and you'll be there in less than 5 minutes. It drops you right off in like City Walk, which is connected to both Universal Hollywood Studios and Islands of Adventures. And then they had like a little like area with live DJ and dancers and different cool things going on for Independence Day. We did that a little bit, hung out there to do some fireworks later on in the day. It was really cool. And then after that, we went back and I think we stayed an additional night. However, the day after that, we needed to prep so that we can prepare to come back to Michigan. So we had a lot of fun. That was our weekend right before coming home. So I feel like I want to do that again next year. But then again, I really would like to get back home in the spring to be able to get my garden together. So yeah, that is the dilemma. We're gonna see, I guess, how we're feeling at that time. It's always like easy to find things to do around the holiday seasons in Florida, always something to do. However, here we have to do a little bit more to plan for it. We thought about spending Christmas here and then New Year in Florida. It's just so much planning and travel that goes into that. And now that Spirit Airlines is closed, it's also much more money. Of course, it's cheaper if you're driving. However, we chose to put one of our vehicles in storage, like a vehicle storage lot in Florida, and then we had the other vehicle shipped here with Nexus Transport. So we had to fly in, and Delta is not cheap, and Spirit is no longer available. And baby girl is now 2. So flying back, we need 4 seats, 4 tickets. My nails are awful. Oh my gosh, I'm not even showing you guys no more. So yeah, it's just a lot that goes into all of that and all the planning. So let me show you guys really quick some of the workbooks that we use for homeschool. And then I think I'm probably going to close out because I want to go downstairs and try and work out before dinner time. And I want to see if I can get the kids out to roast some marshmallows because, like I said, it's 73 degrees. So it's not super hot. We can, light the fire pit, roast the marshmallows. Takes a couple minutes, a little something fun for them to do. So this is the little handwriting that we didn't complete yet. It to me was just like a little bit too easy in my opinion. I feel like Horizon's handwriting is a much more challenging and I would probably prefer that than this. However, for busy work and supplemental work, even this is grade 1. So just practice work. This is the spectrum spelling, practice spelling, different colors and everything, different words. This is the Bible coloring and activity book. This is the scripture workbook I was telling you guys about from Daily Grace Company. Read the scripture and then you copyright it over here. Another Bible activity books. We've been going through this for quite some time now. They're really cute little science things. So we did this one today. This goes to 3rd grade and he's going to 3rd grade. This is tree sap and syrup. So this is the lesson we were working on today, and this is in the Good and the Beautiful Little Hearts and Hands Field and Flowers science curriculum. Yeah, just more like they're still working on this Easter Bible activity book. So just busy work. This is what I mean by busy work, and just things to keep him occupied so that he's not just video games, television, and keep his mind stimulated. The kids really enjoyed the short time that we spent outside making s'mores. We stayed out for about maybe 30 minutes or so, I want to say, and it's just such an easy way to just enjoy some time together, especially on a cool weather day like we had today. We went out just before dinner, then I got the kids inside, got them cleaned up and bathed. We ate tacos for dinner and pretty much called it a day. So in this video, you guys can see why I enjoy summer homemaking so much. And I hope that you guys enjoy doing some summer homemaking with me too. But that is going to be all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me to know what type of content you guys like. And if you are new here, of course, I would love for you to subscribe and join the family as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Happy homemaking.